Just update you here on Connor. Connor has a quad injury. He's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. We're hoping less than that. I'll walk you kind of through Saturday night. Obviously, you saw him get hurt during the game. He finished the game. When the game was over, our medical team and doctors assessed him. He iced the. We always wait a day or two to see how the body reacts. He came in Sunday, felt better, but it was stiff, a little bit swollen. We wanted to see how it reacted yesterday. It was still a little stiff, it was still a little swollen. We booked an MRI, and then 1:30 he had an MRI. And yesterday about 5 o'clock we got the results that he's got a quad injury. So I met here with Dr. Nadeau and Connor and TD Force and talked to Connor. Connor has decided, since we're going on the road trip to Florida tomorrow, Connor's decided to go back to Toronto. He's got his team of people there and his facilities. He's going to do his treatment there while we're on the road trip, and expect to see Connor back here when we get back next Monday. It's the left leg, totally unrelated to the injury that he had this summer. The good news, I guess, about having the MRI is not only did we see the quad injury, but we also had an opportunity. The doctors had an opportunity to look at the injuries from this summer, and everything looks great. So that's sort of the update on Connor.
The last time you guys went through this, swelling prevented you from getting a full diagnosis for a little bit of time. Are you guys confident that the diagnosis you're getting right now, despite the swelling, is the full diagnosis?
It's a quad injury. So yes.
We're not expecting any kind of surgery. There's no that on the horizon.
No. He's 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, that's a normal timeline for this injury. We're hoping, we're hoping it can be a little bit less. No surgery. I mean, it's an injury significant enough that he's going to miss games, but it's not long term. We don't think that. Don't expect that. As Ryan asked, that we'll double back a week from now and find out it's more serious. We know what it is, and it's a quad injury. It's gonna heal. It just needs some time for treatment.
Does this alter your approach to the trade deadline, Ken?
That's a good question. I think yes and no. First off, the win-loss record is going to affect my thinking. There's still what do we got? 4 games this week, and then we play Wednesday. We still got Wednesday, Friday. So we got 7 games before the deadline. So certainly we got to win some hockey games to continue to be in a position to do something.
Connor talked yesterday about it being a Charlie horse. Did the MRI reveal that it's more like? Is there torn muscles? Is there?
Well, it's a quad injury. I guess I read around the league where lots of teams say lower body injury and upper body injury. So I'm trying to give you, it's a quad injury. The pictures, the MRI showed exactly the injury that he's got. What ends up happening when a player gets hurt, you wait till the next day. I mean, you can't do it. Your doctors take a quick look, and you wait till the next day. You see how the body reacts. And then and he felt better on Sunday, but still was a little stiff, was still a little swollen, but it was, he ran into the board. So, you see the next day we come back and it's still a little stiff and it's a little sore, and you want to make sure. So we booked pictures at the hospital, got the MRI, and got the results. So it's a quad.
So he's able to get through the last game just on adrenaline. Obviously, he played the whole rest of the game.
Yeah,
was still skating.
Well, I think the injury is, as you look back, someone would say, well, was he playing? Was he putting himself in jeopardy? He was not putting himself in jeopardy. He was playing injured, but he was not putting himself in any kind of serious jeopardy. But when you got a quad injury, and you need power, and you got to play, and you got to protect yourself. He needs some time here for treatment, and he needs the body to heal a little bit. So again, normal timeline is 2 to 3 weeks. We're always hoping it's going to be shorter.
And are you surprised by the outcome, given that he was able to finish the game?
No.
How do you go about, like, with
his team of medical staff and your team here kind of working together? How does that kind of all?
Well, we're going on the road. I think if we were staying here, he would stay here. But, we're going on the road now tomorrow. We're gone, we don't get, we get home Sunday, and late Sunday night. Monday's an off day. I guess we could, so he's got people there that he trains with all summer. They got great facilities. I flew up there this summer and I saw where he trains on an everyday basis. It's a fabulous situation. He's got people there that he trusts. And our doctors and our medical team worked hand in hand with them all summer in being updated and communicating. And when he had an MRI, we saw the pictures, and our Dr. Naidu and our training staff was on the phone with their training staff. So we've worked hand in hand all summer and continue to do that.
Ken, you saw kind of what Connor went through, the documentary and everything.
This summer.
Yeah, this summer. With this injury, did you sense he was, more relieved that it could have been worse, or was he disappointed because it was a bit worse than he expected? What was kind of his
Well, I think
response to the news?
he's not. He wants to be in the lineup tonight. I think he's very. He's not happy. He's out. He wants to play. He understands that these games are big. It's a fun time of the year. He wants to be a part of it. So I know when we were together last night, he was. He was disappointed, and I know he's motivated to. That's why I say it's 2 to 3 weeks. You saw the documentary, how hard he pushes himself. Now at this time, the body needs a period of time, but I know he wants to get back as quickly as possible.
You're in the same boat as all the other general managers. Everybody's got injuries.
No, it's.
So some teams got a heck of a lot more.
Yeah,
than you.
no, it's that time of the. It's that time of the. It's that time of the year. So. There are playoff games every night, Jim. I mean, it's as I watch around the league, the games are hard, the games are important, the games impact the standings, and we play game, day off game, day off game. We're in playoff mode now.
Ken, is there any part of you that if you were looking at, making a deal to supplement your roster at the deadline, any part of you that would move that timeline up to try and add to help sort of counteract the loss of McDavid? Like, is there more of a sense of urgency if you were thinking about it anyway?
No.
Got to wait and be patient and see?
Well, I think because it's more than that. At the end of the day, for the most part, this is the time of the year when it's rentals, right? You're spending future assets to get somebody for the here and now. And part of spending future assets is to think that when you make the deal, the odds are pretty good that you're going to be in the playoffs, so that you can spend those assets, and you want to be in a playoff series, and so you need to run off more. I mean, obviously we're 3 points, I think, out of first, and we're like 3 points out of being out of the wild card, so we're being out of the playoffs. So but there's lots and lots of teams that are sort of in that same situation. So I think that impacts. Not just this injury impacts my thinking, the standings impact my thinking, then the future cost impact my thinking as we push towards the deadline.
Did you expect to learn something out of your team playing down the stretch without their best player?
I think so. I think on an every night basis you learn something out of your team. So we know we got to dig in, and there's other teams, as Jim had said, there's other teams that's the injuries, they found ways to win games, so we have to do the same thing.
Ken, do you have an update on James Neal and Chris Russell injuries?
James Neal had a setback, I think on Friday or Saturday. There's no real timeline for him to come back. I just talked to James a short bit ago. No timeline. I'm not sure how long. Chris Russell feels better every day. He's been skating on his own the last 2-3 days, but no timeline on when he's coming back.
And do you have a plan to, I'm assuming you're going to recall someone?
We are going to recall somebody this afternoon. I was just talking to Dave Tippett, so we are going to recall someone and get that person to fly tomorrow to Tampa.
So you don't have a Jason Zucker deal in your back there?
How would you characterize, like in this moment, your willingness to put a first-round draft pick on the table to see how you can help this thing?
What if you miss the playoffs?
You have to consider that, I'm sure.
Could be conditional though, and making the playoffs.
It's out there. It's out there. I know you guys you're anxious for something to happen. You're anxious for something to happen. I'm trying to build a program. I'm trying to look at the big picture. Certainly the short term this year is really, really important. I have to see who's available, what can impact us, and at the end of the day, you know, if you're going to spend a first round pick, you want to know that you're in the playoffs.
And can we confirm something from the McDavid thing? Just, in that, it looked like, and I don't know if I misheard it, it was misrepresented. When you found out, I know you didn't find out before you were hired, how quickly after you were hired did you find out about the extent of it?
Couple 2 to 3 weeks, couple of weeks. Because it was a conference call that there was a because I got hired and then I went to Bakersfield for a few days and then we came back and we had amateur meetings and pro meetings and then I set up we set up a conference call to get updated. So a couple weeks.